Welcome to Swords to Podcast.
Welcome to the Swords to Podcast. My name is Thomas.
My name is Adam. Today, I've thrown together a list of some Spider-Man cards from the new Magic the Gathering Marvel's Spider-Man set. I threw together 10 cards that I think are deserving of some attention, and then a few cards that I think are overrated by the community as a whole. Thomas is going to go through those. We're going to talk about some keyword abilities new to the set, and we're just going to give our thoughts on them. So, do we want to get into it?
Definitely. Go down to your first one here.
Let's do it.
All right, we have got, so Peter Parker. Definitely seen him before, but I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about what he does. So he is going to be 1 and a white, so 2 mana for a 0/1 legendary human scientist hero. And when Peter Parker enters, create a 2/1 green spider creature token with reach. And you can pay 1 and Bant, so green, white, blue, 4 mana to transform him, but only as a sorcery. And he will transform into Amazing Spider-Man, legendary spider human hero with vigilance and reach. He's a 4/4. And each legendary spell you cast that's 1 or more colors has web-slinging Naya, so 3. Green, white, and blue. You may cast a spell for its web-slinging cost if you also return a tapped creature you control to its owner's hand. So this is going to be our first new ability, isn't it? The only thing that I'm going to say is I really don't like web slinging, because you not only do you have to return a tapped creature, so you have to figure out how to tap it, which is not the hardest thing to do in Bant. In fact, that's probably the easiest color combo to do that in. But plus you have to pay 3 mana into it, and I mean it does discount the casting cost of all your big spells, but like I don't know, because then you have to pay 1 of each 3 color pips. I don't love it personally, and I think that's the biggest reason why this was maybe put on your list. So that's my just initial reaction, is if it's here for the web slinging, I'm not really with web slinging. Maybe I'm more of a ground walker, I guess. I don't know. That's just me.
No, that's totally a fair take. I just think the card is one of the strongest instances of web slinging that we see in the set. I think it's a very good commander for a legendary archetype if you're not, trying to build a Joda deck or trying to go 5 colors with your legendaries. I think Bant is a good color combo for that. There's a lot of different options for that. But this is one of the premier cards of the set, which is why it's on the list. But also, I wanted to make note of the fact that most of these double-sided legendary creatures you can cast for either side, or you can cast their front side and then pay mana to flip it to the back side. So early on, you can get...
Pause for a second.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah. Look at it. Both sides have a mana cost. So you can play the front side and flip it to the back, or you can just play the back side straight up.
Oh my god. Ain't no way, bro. Yeah, okay.
So you can play these.
I think this changes the game.
Yeah, well, you can play the front side early game and get the 2/1 reacher if you want. It almost gives you a pseudo partner effect, where you can get 2 commanders for the price of 1 in your command zone, and I kind of like that. It's not crazy on Peter Parker. Like paying 2 mana for a 2/1 and a 0/1 is not absurd. But if you need a cheap body to tap with something and then later use it for web slinging, I don't hate that.
Mm-hmm.
And it also theoretically gives you an infinite mana outlet if you can play Peter Parker and sacrifice him, make infinite tokens. So I'm sure that'll come up at some point, but I won't be building this. But
True,
I think
yeah.
it's just I think it's very balanced while still being a cool commander that lets you do cool things.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. So I didn't realize that you could play both sides. I guess now that you're pointing it out, I probably should have mentioned that. Amazing Spider-Man cost 1 in Bant, same as the transform cost. So you could play this right turn 2, and for the same amount of mana that it would take to play it, if you didn't already cast Peter Parker, you can transform it. So there's you're not missing if you have nothing else to play on like turn 2, even turn 3, you're not missing out on anything by playing him first and getting that 2/1 with reach.
And all the dual-faced commanders, in this set have this ability, or have this bit of tech, so you can cast either side or play one side and flip it to the other.
And that's new. Is that new? I don't think we've seen that before, right?
To my knowledge, it is new, but I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, I can't think just off the top.
If we're
I can't
wrong,
think
throw
of
it in the
anything.
comments and make fun of us and call us fun names, please.
Dude, I've already been wrong by not knowing like that you could cost both. So I mean, hey, it's nothing new to me, even by this episode standard. So yeah, I like it. I mean, yeah, if you're playing into that legendary, legendary synergy, not the worst way to go. Same thing here. Not something I'm going to be going with. I'm not a Bant guy. I think it has a lot of potential. It could be a very powerful card. And let's just talk about the art. Oh my god. Like, look at him spider sensing. Got a little Spidey sense, and then like he transforms into the Amazing Spider-Man, the OG. Oh my, like look at Unk over here, web slinging through NYC. This set is so nice. All right, Adam. So with that, do you want to move on to the next card on your list?
Let's do it.
All right, so you have Rent is Due. Rent is Due is a 1 mana enchantment. It's going to be 1 white, and at the beginning of your end step, you may tap 2 untapped creatures and or treasures you control. If you do, draw a card. Otherwise, sacrifice this enchantment. Interesting. So in the rare slot, so it says so it is a May, right? Otherwise, you sacrifice it. It feels like the opposite of an upkeep. Like, I don't want to say cumulative upkeep because this obviously isn't cumulative, but you know what I mean, like an upkeep trigger. That's very interesting. The treasures is a weird include there in white. Not to say that it can't be paired with some other colors, but that gives you a way to tap creatures. I don't know, because the only benefit there, you have to tap 2 things that you want to objectively keep untapped on your end step to draw a card. I kind of really don't like it. I mean, 1 mana, it's not like the worst thing, I guess, but off first look, I really don't like this card. Am I missing something here?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a fantastic card. And especially in the context of this new set where you want to be tapping your creatures to web sling with them, this is sort of a non-vote because you're tapping them on your end step. So you don't really, unless you're web slinging in things with flash or at instant speed, they don't really help you, because if you want to be web slinging things during your main phase, this won't allow you to tap your creatures and have them remain tapped for your own main phases. But I think it's just generically decent card draw in white. You've got things like Trouble in Pairs in white, and obviously Esper Sentinel, and they're not going to print another card like Esper Sentinel. I think this is, again, like
probably not, yeah.
Like Spider-Man. I think this is very balanced, and I think in the decks that want this, it is a slam dunk. Because sometimes you don't need those 2 treasures to hang around on your end step. Maybe you got 6 treasures. Maybe you got a couple tokens that you have just laying around. I don't think this is something that you play turn 1 and immediately get value. This is something that comes down turn 3 or 4. But 1 mana to draw an extra turn every turn, or draw an extra card every turn.
Draw an extra turn, sure. that would be so great if they had that in this set. Oh, we'd be feasting. Yeah.
But I think it's okay. I might put it in a deck or 2. We'll see.
Well, the only thing I have to go off of is Abdel Adrian, which does not care in the slightest whether or not my creatures are tapped if I'm going to blink them. My big white deck, I know it's Azorius now, it used to be mono white, but who cares if they're tapped? So I guess if that's where you're going, no skin off your back, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like the main thing here too is, like, if you don't give If you don't give her your money, like, you're out on the street. And you don't want to be out on the street, right?
No, absolutely not.
So, yeah. Right. So I guess we'll just have to see if this bad boy gets some play. Rent is due. I don't hate it. Maybe in the right deck. We'll see. Do you want to move? Okay. Do you want to move on to the next one then?
You bet.
Oh,
You best believe.
who could have seen? Who could have seen this one coming? Okay, so this is Lady Octopus Inspired Inventor. It's going to be 1 blue. Crazy already. For a legendary human scientist villain, a 0/2. Oh my god, whenever you draw your first or second card each turn, put an ingenuity counter on Lady Octopus. And you can tap her, and then you may cast an artifact spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the number of ingenuity counters on Lady Octopus without paying its mana cost. What? Yo, what was Wizards thinking printing this card for 1 mana?
We go 2 for 2 with some of the most balanced cards we've seen. Some of the more balanced headliner cards we've seen from a set, and we go to this, arguably one of the best mono blue artifact commanders ever printed.
The real question is, like, is this gonna give Urza a run for his money?
Wizards, what are you doing?
Know. I don't know.
Well, I don't think this is going to de-seat, or I don't think this is going to unseat Urza. But this is also a total, dethrone. I think this is a totally different deck. I think you build this deck entirely different. This is less of a Cheerios deck, more of a card draw and big hits artifact style deck. But oh my god, if you're playing Urza and you don't put this in the 99, what are you doing?
Well, because the first thing that sticks out to me is I know that blue arguably is the absolute worst color for not only proliferating, but untapping. Blue is not known for doing either one of those two things,
No,
right?
Definitely not.
How are you going to either proliferate counters, any kind of counters? How are you going to do that or untap your creatures? Unheard of in blue. So, I just don't know. Okay.
It's another card that breaks intruder
Can we be
alarm,
serious for a second? Oh my god.
which is so hard to do.
This just made, and the best part is, not only does it, like, they could have been like, oh, this only triggers once a turn. Twice! Whenever you draw your first or second cards. Card draw.
Each
I've also
turn.
never heard of that in blue. Oh my god, it's not even on your turn. Oh. Okay, so basically, Lady Octopus. This is a card that Wizards decided to print, which will more than likely, how does this not see the ban hammer?
I don't think it's gonna get banned.
You know what this takes me back to?
I don't think it's gonna get banned.
But this takes me back to Nadu, because, like, it takes me back to Nadu. Everyone saw Nadu and was like, that is, what were they thinking? That's exactly what we just said, was it not?
But I don't think
And
this is Nadu totally turned every format upside down. And it was Nadu was hard to interact with because it was all abilities.
Okay,
and you're playing lands and doing that, and that's multiple colors, and I think this is easily interactable with. This is it's only one color.
Okay.
I don't think this is busted, but I think it's pretty. Or no, I do think it's busted, but it's not Nadu level. I don't think.
Yeah, it might be busted.
Wizards has been really good at towing the line with. Of getting to Nadu level without making something ban worthy, because I think Nadu also just led to unfun play patterns where it's like, okay, I untap with Nadu, game's over.
Definitely.
But you're gonna have to sit there for an hour while I end the game.
Well, yeah.
This doesn't necessarily do that.
If you don't believe that I'm gonna end it, but yeah.
Yeah. Good card.
I think that in mono blue, it's not like there's nothing you can do, but I feel like it'd be so cool to see maybe a deck tag for this. We'll see. We'll see if we see something like that in our future.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Oh my god, do I love this card?
We're gonna talk about this all day if we don't.
You can call me Liv. Yeah, you can call me Liv. All right, let's move on to the next card, shall we? This is going to be Norman Osborn, also blue. Well, for now, 1 and a blue for a legendary human scientist villain, a 1/1, which cannot be blocked. And whenever Norman Osborn deals combat damage to a player, he connives. So you will draw a card, then discard a card, and if you discarded a non-land, you put a 1/1 counter on Norman Osborn. And you can pay 1 and Grixis to transform Norman Osborn, activate only as a sorcery. And I recently learned that, or you don't even have to play Norman Osborn. You can actually just play Green Goblin for 1 in Grixis also. For a 3/3 Goblin Human Villain with Flying and Menace, spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less to cast, and he has Goblin Formula. Each non-land card in your graveyard has Mayhem. The Mayhem cost is equal to its mana cost. This is also a new mechanic. You may cast a card from your graveyard for its Mayhem cost if you discarded it this turn. Timing rules still apply. Interesting. So, if you discarded a card this turn, you can cast it for its Mayhem cost. So So you can discard cards and cast them for the same CMC, or just whatever their mana cost is, as long as you did it this turn. Interesting. I have never heard of discard being a strategy, as Marina Marta could die, stand to cold a card.
Yeah, especially not in Grixis, right?
Yeah, especially not. So I love this, especially with Connive on the front side. Not to say that you're probably going to see the front side and the back side hitting their abilities on the same. Oh, but your spells will cost 2 less. I think this is incredibly good. I've never been one for the graveyard synergies. Adam, you might be able to shed a little bit more light on this, you Muldrotha expert.
Hey, I took her apart.
But I like it. Okay, but how long did you play her for?
Too long.
Be honest.
Too long. So what do you think?
I think it's a great card. I mean, Mayhem, it's a pretty busted ability. You can just discard. How many cards let you just discard without really paying a cost? It's like it's bundled up into the cost, whatever it is. You're saving mana on that end of things. And it's going to give you that 2 colorless discount. It feels pretty broken, depending on the cards that you're trying to throw in. I think this is pretty disgusting.
Yeah. There's cards that let you incidentally loot whenever you cast spells or do things. So you could just build a deck that's nothing but those and 2 mana artifacts. So you just draw a discard, you discard a signet, play it for free. Draw a discard, play a talisman for free. Draw a discard, play an Ichor Wellspring for free. Like it's really good. And also the front side, I can see myself never touching the back side. Pause. And just playing Norman Osborn for a 2 mana 1/1 with unblockable with a little bit of card draw in there. You could make a Grixis Tron deck or a Grixis Voltron deck with this.
Yeah.
And never even touch the other side.
Unblockable is not the worst thing to have on a commander, is it?
Not at all. And I think this is one of the lesser balanced cards, but I think there's so many interesting hoops you have to jump through to discard things and then fully take advantage of that cost reduction. But I'm a big fan of this card. If I didn't have other plans for this set and possibly helping a friend of mine make this deck, I would be building Norman Osborn / Green Goblin. I think it's a very cool commander.
Yeah, I think he has some really great potential if this is your wheelhouse. There's so much you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun to see. Not fun to see at your table, I would bet.
Not unless you're piloting him.
Fun to see what people do with him. So with that, you want to move on to the next?
Yes, please.
What we got here? Gwenom Remorseless. So Spider-Gwen with the Venom suit. Going to be 3 and 2 black for a 4/4 legendary symbiote spider hero with Death Touch and Lifelink. Whenever Gwenom attacks, until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play cards from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. So it's interesting that you can only look at the top card after she attacks. that is an interesting little restriction there. But obviously, playing stuff off the top of your library by paying life. I can't think of a single time I've ever seen that to be broken, right? When have I ever seen playing stuff off the top of your library by paying life to ever be broken? I don't know. Maybe Bolus's Citadel, maybe something else. As a commander, I'm not sure being in mono black.
In the command zone. Why are we giving mono black players access to this? Why are we doing this?
But it's only in black. Okay, hold on.
There are
should I take that back?
decks.
Because
there's this lovely CDH deck called Kirik, son of Yawgmoth, whose only job is to put a Bolus's Citadel on the stack. And you are giving these players a Bolus's Citadel for 1 less mana. In the command zone.
Maybe it's good. Maybe.
Maybe I'm overreacting. I don't play mono black. I don't play mono black CEDH. I don't play Kirik. But I think this is really good.
The only thing that balances it is that you have to attack with her to get that effect, which isn't the hardest thing to do, you know. And even if she dies, like, you can attack with her and she dies, you still get that till the end of your turn, right? So if we're talking like the higher power levels, there you go. If you're ready to win on that turn, if you're going to win with the Bolus's Citadel, you'll win with Gwenum.
Well, and it's not even a combat damage trigger. It's an attack trigger.
Yeah, it is.
This is such a low bar to entry. If someone gets her out with haste, buckle up, because it's happening.
I think that if she is in the command zone in mono black, not just like, I think it limits you slightly. Not, again, you mentioned Kirik, the CDH, like, you're right, like on those higher power levels. But if we're talking, you know, like casual tables, I'm not sure how much she's gonna do. So it really depends on like the power level that you're gonna build her at. I don't think she's gonna be a CDH commander. I think that little bit of a have to attack takes her out of that conversation.
Well, she's not gonna be tier 1. I think certainly deserving of a fringe spot, just because Kirik has been around and there have been pilots that do well with Kirik. Then, you know, I haven't seen anybody overreacting about this card yet, so maybe I'm wrong, and I would be more than willing to bet that I am wrong when it comes to CEDH. I'm not very good. But
you and me both. Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. I think this is dumb.
I mean, crazy good ability after combat.
Yeah.
Put it that way. But with that, hey, we'll see what Gwenum pulls after this. Let's go on. Okay, so we've got Electro Assaulting Battery. It's going to be 1 and 2 red for a 2/3 legendary human villain with flying. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. Okay. And then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, add 1 red. Okay. And then whenever he leaves the battlefield, you may pay X. When you do, he deals X damage to target player. That last ability, you know, that's fine. I mean, you don't lose red mana. Okay. That's great ability. Adding the red mana whenever you cast instant sorceries feels like a storm commander, if that's where we're looking at. Not losing your mana is always amazing. It's the best thing. And hey, this may be a little bit of a callback, but I know that they won't be out as soon as he comes out. But Avatar, a little ability called Firebending, right, that adds red mana during your combat steps. So I think Electro is going to like to have some firebenders on his squad. It's always great. Not losing mana is always great. Now that mana burn doesn't exist anymore, I think that that's just inherently a great ability.
Well, it even
And
would have
then,
been good
like I said,
when mana burn was a thing because mana burn only takes into account when the mana leaves your mana pool.
oh, yo, cut that. I don't want them to cook. I don't want them to cook me in the comments. Yo, cut that.
Not again.
um, so what I was saying though about the mana burn is that I wasn't saying anything actually about mana burn.
God forbid
Sorry,
you're unfamiliar
I was
with a
talking about
mechanic
something
that
else.
went away 15 so years ago.
Electro might be something. I don't know if he was. I don't know, Adam. I don't know if you were thinking about the fire bending when you put this card on the list.
I was not. I was thinking this is another copy of Bergi that gives you an infinite mana outlet, and if you're holding up 15 mana, no one's gonna really want to remove him because they're not gonna want to take that damage.
Wait, am I about to take another L in the comments for forgetting that this is an infinite mana source? Well, you know what?
Well, not necessarily.
You got me. You got me.
Not necessarily. You have to be able to recast him and then get rid of him to do that, right? Like there's hoops you have to jump through, but it is a way to end the game. Like you could just play things like doubling cube and make this a mono red big mana deck, and then play that. And then worst case scenario, like I said, it's another copy of Bergi, so you can put this in all your other red or your or whatever your storm decks, and have another card like Bergi that just lets you keep churning and generating mana.
Mm-hmm. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
In standard, I mean, I don't play standard, but I feel like he might see a little spot. Not when he comes out. Let's wait. Like, what is it? 2 months?
Is Lightning Bolt standard legal?
A month or two. I can only assume so. I mean, it's been printed in what every fucking set. So.
No, Lightning Bolt is not standard legal. So I mean, this is a pretty valid 2/3 for 3 with flying, and maybe not. I don't know. I don't know standard. We don't know standard. If you play standard, make fun of us. Please go for it.
Yeah.
We'll make fun of you back 'cause we don't like standard. Well, that's not true.
We'll know a little bit more after Avatar set comes out.
Yeah.
That's when I'm gonna wait for. I think this is gonna be more relevant in about a month after it comes out. So with that, let's move on. Our next card here is going to be Web of Life and Destiny. It's going to be 6 colorless and 2 green for an enchantment with Convoke. So your creatures can help you cast it. Each creature you tap while casting the spell pays for 1 colorless or 1 mana of that creature's color. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest onto the bottom of your library in a random order. So, first of all, I love that it's just at the beginning of combat, no attack triggers. Favorite things. You don't even have to attack to get this to trigger. I love it in decks. I'm going to say Esper, even though I know green isn't in Esper colors, but I know Esper is so great at the top deck manipulation. So, depending on what colors you're pairing it with, a lot of top deck manipulation cards. You can put what you want, where you want it, to be able to cheat in creatures that you are looking for. And a lot of those tutors, like what?
Worldly Tutor?
Demonic Worldly Tutor.
Vampiric
Yeah, I guess.
Tutor,
Yeah,
Imperial
Worldly Tutors in green.
Seal.
Vampiric Tutors, what I was thinking. All those ones that put it on the top of your deck, that's good. So, a lot of great ways to put exactly what you want onto the battlefield. It feels pretty good, especially when you can, in best case scenario, cast it for free. If you have 8 creatures, but less, balanced with however many lands you have. I love this. This feels amazing in a creature-heavy deck with tutors. Outside of that, it still feels pretty great. That's my first thoughts about this one. It feels like only upside to me. I don't see a downside with this card here.
Yeah,
even at 8 mana.
it's big mana green decks doing what big mana green decks like to do. It gives you an awesome discount on it. So if you're in a go wide strategy, but you have a couple bombs in the deck, you can play this pretty effectively on turn 4. Um, yeah, and it like you said, it triggers on your combat. So you slam this main phase 1, and you immediately get the upside. I love cards like that. We were just talking about Ouroboros from Edge of Eternities, and that card's so good because you play it and you immediately get the ability. So even if people view this as a threat and they blow it up, unless they do it at instant speed before combat, you're probably getting at least one activation of this off. And I feel like just one activation in most green decks that want this will be enough to make it worth it.
Yeah, to bring whatever you want. If you can cast your tutors in instant speed, yeah, it's game over if you get the one card that you need.
Yep.
Wow. I am in love with this card. I can't think of a deck that I have that's gonna fit it, but I am very worried to think about the decks that I don't play that are this is gonna fit snugly in. So we'll see about that one. So let's move on to the next card you have on your list. So this is going to be a land, first land that we've seen. It's going to be an Urban Retreat. It's a rare, and it enters tapped, and it can tap 4 bants. So a green, a white, or a blue. And you can pay 2 at any time to return a tapped creature you control to its owner's hand. Put this card from your hand onto the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Is that real? That is insane. So if we remember a little bit back, the whole web-slinging ability wanted you to also return tapped creatures to your hand to pay the web-slinging ability. So this doesn't necessarily get you away from any of that, but it is pretty insane that you can basically just pay 2 generic mana at instant speed, or excuse me, at sorcery speed. It's going to be at sorcery speed. To recast any card that you want. So not only do you get ETB triggers, but this also will count for your cast triggers. That's insane. On a land, no less. I don't care that it's entering tap. I usually hate playing taps lands, no matter what they are. On a land for 2 mana with no tap, whatever you want, you get all your ETBs and your cast trigger. That's that. So this is a real card that they printed, right? Like you're not.
Yeah,
you didn't edit anything like this.
This is a land card that ramps you. Yeah.
This is wow. What a.
I mean, I don't think it's absurd. It was really hard to abuse an ability like this.
Yeah, because it does have to be tapped.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy, but I really like this.
But,
and the decks that can run it, I think if you're in Bant and you don't have this card in the deck, I'm not sure why. This is like one of your Cons of Tarkir 3 mana or 3 color lands that enters tapped with upside. I think it's a really good card.
From what I can remember, there's not really a lot of cards. I mean, there's a lot of stacks pieces that let you make opponents' creatures enter tap. There's nothing that can really make all creatures, so that's not necessarily a way to kind of abuse this, make it infinite. Station is a more recent mechanic that'll let you, at any point on your turn or at sorcery speed, tap it, so that can tap your creature and give it the chance to be returned through this land. Other than that, I mean, so there's nothing that's going to be like an infinite speed, infinite combo, but it still feels like there's a couple sneaky ways that you could play around with this little land here. That's the only things that's really screaming out to me.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. I think you should play it if you're in Bant.
Yeah, in Bant for sure. All right, so let's move on to the next one, which I guess is also a land here. It's going to be Oscorp Industries, and it enters tapped. And when it enters from a graveyard, you lose 2 life, and it taps for Grixis. And it's also a rare, and it has Mayhem. You may play this card from your graveyard if you discarded it this turn. Timing rules still apply. So, if you already played a land, you can't throw down Oscorp Industries. I'll be honest, other than that, I'm not exactly sure how great this is going to be. It seems decent if you have nothing else and you needed to pay a cost to, and by discarding this, and then you can still play it. But other than that, I'm not exactly sure where this could fit in. But help me piece the gaps if I'm missing something, Adam.
Well, I think you're right. It's not absurdly busted, especially, and I don't think it's nearly as good as Urban Retreat. But it is nice that if you're in this Grixis, discard archetype, you can discard this to an ability, or if you're looting, you can discard this, and then if you haven't played your land, you can just play this from your graveyard. So this essentially lets you net an extra card, which I think is nice. It does come in tapped, so some of the stronger Grixis discard decks won't necessarily want it, because even though you are getting some card advantages, it is a tapped land. But I think if I had a Grixis deck, I think I would that relied on discard for card draw. I think I would play this. I think I'd give it a shot, and I'm sure it would feel really good. You know,
Yeah.
You don't have anything to play with this. You don't necessarily need to play anything with this land. You just discard it to a Faithless Looting and then play it as your land later, and you netted an extra card. So I think it's good. Not busted. Good.
Yeah, I'm kind of with it. I mean, if there's something that can benefit you from discarding a land, I don't think that there really is. But other than that, I don't think this is going to see a whole lot of play in any of my decks personally. And if I ever see it at a table, I might throw a couple question marks their way. I don't know how much this is really gonna make too much of a difference, especially at the rare slot. But yeah, I could be proven wrong.
That's valid.
You guys can prove me wrong in the comments.
I think it's definitely worthy of a slot in these decks. I wouldn't, if they're playing that sort of deck, and there's also just so much incidental discard on so many of the popular draw engines and effects, that I think it's very much worth the slot. This isn't gonna raise alarm bells if they play this card from their graveyard. I'll be like, oh, that's cool. You know, you got some extra card advantage.
Yeah,
but I think it's worth it.
I mean, the problem is the timing rules. It's like, yeah, if you discard it on your turn, it's like, if you have nothing else, sure. But other than that, I don't see another reason to really play it. So
Fair,
we'll see.
fair.
Hey, prove me wrong, guys. If you guys see something else that we're missing, I don't know, but maybe I just have tunnel vision. We'll see. All right, so let's move on to the next card, which is also going to be a land, but this time in the common slot. It's going to be Vibrant Cityscape, and look at that downtown view of Manhattan.
Gorgeous.
I'm going to redo that, because is that actually Manhattan or is that Brooklyn? I have no
Beats
idea
my
the
dick.
difference. I don't know the difference. You can leave that in if you want. We'll see.
I might. I did.
Vibrant Cityscape. Anyway, at the common slot, it's a land. You can tap it, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, and then shuffle. I don't know what it is, but this seems to remind me of something. Like, is this busted? Because I've never heard of Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic
This is
Expanse.
unprecedented territory.
Is this? Wow.
I
It's
just
almost
thought
like
it was.
now we have 3.
I just thought it was cool. Well, we have more because we have all the new Capenna ones that sacrifice themselves when they enter. I just thought it was cool because now
yeah, but
landfall decks are going to
they only
become
search
even
for one of the
more
3.
mainstream, and all the lower bracket ones are going to become even stronger because now they have another option for non-expensive fetch lands.
So, yeah, the one thing that I'll say, I mean, the search for basic is the same as Evolving Wilds or Terramorphic. I never feel great about putting both into my deck unless it's really, really worth it. It feels a little weird to me. The new Capenna lands only search you one of the 3 colors that is what is on their card, so they're a little bit less good. I mean, it's just interesting that they're making the 3rd one. So, I mean,
I'm happy to see it.
Are we gonna get the full 10? Are we gonna get the full 10? I would love. That'd be so awesome. I'll run 10. I'll run 30. I'll run 35 lands. It's just gonna be these sack lands. I'll have no basics.
Yeah, fail to find every time.
Just cause. Yeah. Just cause. Oh, I love that. I never thought they were gonna do that. I thought it was where they had 2, but hey, 3. Lucky number, I guess.
That's the
Now 6 or 7. 6 or 7 would have been a better number to.
Oh.
I'm sorry. 6 or 7. 6 or 7. 6 or 7. Yeah, it would have been a better number to land on, but we'll see. I had to. I do like that you put it on this list.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So that ends our list of all the good ones that I wanted to bring to Thomas's attention. And so now we have 3 cards that I personally think are way overhyped. And if Thomas, if you don't mind, I'll read these. The first one is Gwen Stacy, one of the other flip commanders. She is 1 generic mana and 1 red for a legendary human performer hero. She is a 2/1. And when Gwen Stacy enters, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card for as long as you control this creature. And then you can pay 2 and a Jeskai, which is a blue, a red, and a white, and transform Gwen Stacy only as a sorcery. And on her flip side, she is Ghost Spider, which is the same cost to generic, a blue, a red, and a white, or Jeskai, for a legendary spider human hero. She's a 4/4 with flying, vigilance, and haste. Whenever you play, and she reads, whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you can put a +1/+1 counter on Ghost Spider. And her second ability is an activated ability with remove 2 counters from Ghost Spider to exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. It's another Jeskai Storm Commander. We see that archetype a lot, but I think this card is way overhyped because despite the prevalent proliferate strategies that exist in blue, it's so hard to land a doubling season type effect in these colors. I don't even think one exists. If one does, please, again, slander us in the comments.
I would know.
Let us know.
No.
No?
No, I would know playing Simic. It's only the green. Only green.
Got it. And I think it's good, essentially you're impulse drawing a card for every card you play from impulse drawing, which it's not bad, but it's rewarding you with the thing for doing the thing. So it's not letting you turn mana into cards. It's letting you just turn cards into cards, which I don't love. I think this archetype is already full of much better options at Commander. I think it's deep.
Like said Drew.
Yeah, I think it's. I think she's decent, but I don't think that she's worthy of all the talk that she's been getting. What do you think, Thomas?
Mm-hmm. So, first thing I want to say is that Gwen Stacy, nothing to write home about. I don't love the effects that let you just exile and play them for a turn when you have to pay the mana for them. And you don't have really a choice of what you're getting to play, right? Don't love that. But when we're talking about Ghost Spider, it feels like recently there have been a couple cards. I think Avatar has a couple. I know that with Edge of Eternities, it's been more with the warp ability and all that. Playing stuff from exile is kind of finding its way to the forefront. And I see it, right? I don't love it, but I see it. I see where they're kind of trying to find their way in. But in Commander, it's like a newer goal that you're trying to go for. I don't know how much support you have behind it. These newer cards are letting you play stuff from exile, and they're like caring more about it. You got your warp, you've got suspend, but there's just not a whole lot of support behind that type of strategy. So I don't love it, especially because from my experience, especially with suspend, warp is is a lot better, but it's not always super efficient in my opinion to play stuff from exile because you're paying mana early to do very little, only to pay like same way more mana later. So suspend is kind of the biggest culprit there. You're paying nothing to basically pay maybe one less, if not the same amount, to just play it, hard cast it. I don't love that strategy. I know Doctor Who had a big suspend commander who was obviously very good. 10th Doctor, I think it was. But other than that, I mean, that's the only thing that I can see. Like that, there, it feels like Wizards is trying to push that as like a new core type of thing that they want players to do. Like, hey, put stuff in exile, cast them from exile. There's so much you can do here, but like, I mean, right now, not really. That's going to be my thoughts here.
Fair enough. I think we just agree on the fact that she's way overhyped.
Yes.
But moving on, we have Mr. Negative. This is another commander who's Orsov. You have 5 generic, a white and a black, for a legendary human villain with Vigilance Lifelink. He's a 5/5 with the ability Dark Force Inversion. When Mr. Negative enters, you may exchange life totals with target opponent. If you lost life this way, draw that many cards. I think this commander is solid. You paying 7 mana for a really, really strong effect. You can either use this to, if you've lost a bunch of life by doing things, you can cast this and steal a higher opponent's life total, or you could do the opposite where you chisel down an opponent and then essentially lose life and draw that many cards. But people are going to be terrified of this in the command zone. This is the most telegraphed plan I've ever seen. It's 7 mana in a color in 2 colors that are fairly hard to ramp with. I don't think there is any deck that can survive in bracket 4 with Mr. Negative at the helm. It's just so obvious what you're doing, and your opponents are going to say, okay, he just hit me for 20. He's going to try to steal my life total and draw 20 cards next turn. That's obvious. Obviously every commander is prone to removal. You hear that? Newsflash, every commander is prone to removal. It's not a magical thing in the sky where, only this commander is susceptible to removal. They all are. But I think Mr. Negative is just so telegraphed, and at 7 mana in these colors, it's just not good. Hit me with your hot take.
So I feel like this is a waste of space in the command zone. If you're building your deck around this guy, you're building a terrible deck, because he does one thing and the rest of your deck probably, unless I'm missing some like crazy interaction, I don't know why you would build a deck around this. The 99 may be a different story. I mean, white is great for blinking, so that's the one thing that I can say that kind of keeps this bad boy going.
And life gain.
And life gain, yes, definitely. But so not dude, that's so tough, because white and black, think about it. White and black are like the big colors for gaining life, losing life, whichever way it goes. You can give some opponents a ton of life, and you're giving yourself more life, then you switch and you're drawing cards by still keeping like imagine you have 80 life, you have 90 life, they have 80 life, you switch, you draw 10 cards and still give yourself 80 life. Like, that's still double your starting. There's some cool things that you could do with this, but I think this is can I say cringe?
I mean,
is that weird to say? I
don't disagree.
I think it's super cringe if you're building your deck around this.
It could be good, but it's just gonna get you targeted, because you're trying to do all this setup. Yeah. Ideally, you want to do all this setup before you cast your commander. So
yeah,
and most of this stuff probably won't be coming back because your commander doesn't have recursion built in. But it's like you're just going to be doing all these things, and your opponents are just going to see. They're going to see exactly what you're doing. They're going to be like, "Oh, this guy just gained 80 life. I wonder what he's going to do when he casts Mr. Negative." They know.
Like, guys, like, guess what my deck does? Big surprise! Ooh, you guys are never going to see this coming.
Yeah. Like, you're just going to get hard targeted, and you're not going to have a good time. It's an interesting deck, and supposedly Rachel.
I'm going to get hard. Sorry, go ahead.
Supposedly Rachel Weeks is building this to play on their Game Nights episode for this set.
I would love to see that.
But at any table, you're just going to get targeted so hard. Bro, dude!
Sorry.
I'm going to have to cut so much!
Cut that.
I did not.
You can just mute my audio and stuff.
But yeah.
Sorry, okay.
Interesting commander, boo, boring deck.
Yeah, I don't love it. Plus,
dude, stop.
Okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm actually done.
All right, next card. We're moving on.
Yeah, that's next card.
Doc Ox Tentacles. It is 1 generic mana for an artifact equipment. Whenever a creature you control with mana value 5 or greater enters, you may attach this equipment to it, and the equipped creature gets +4/+4. That's it! It has equipped 5. Equip 5. 5 mana. Who cares?
You said people are hyping this up?
Who cares about this card?
Who's hyping this up? Is that... Am I missing something?
I don't even know. The first place I saw this was Ben Bateman, but there are plenty of other people that I've seen just in passing talking about how good this card is. I get it. It's 1 mana for +4/+4. You know, essentially free equip cost if you build the deck around that sort of thing. But it's just not good. Like, this is a bulk rare. This is not going to go anywhere. Like, it might feel good to cast this with some extra mana, but you're playing a 5 mana value commander. If you want it to be 4 power bigger, there's probably other things you can do that are going to give you more than +4/+4. I just think it doesn't do anything cool. Why is this a rare?
So, this is the only thing that is on my mind. Granted, there's not usually a lot of things on my mind. Pretty blank up here, but and I know that Adam, you are going to relate to this one.
You're going to say Yargle and Multani?
2 words. I was going to say Yargle and Multani.
Like, it's good, but there's also Invigorate, and like, I built the deck. Like, yeah, if I was building the deck again,
I know
this
you built
card
the
would
deck.
go
I
in
loved playing against him.
I hated playing
or them.
I hated playing that deck. But like, yeah, this card goes in the deck, and yeah, it's a pretty good card in the deck. But so it's not doing anything more busted than any of the other cards in the deck do.
Are we actually like we have to be missing something?
Yeah, it's not good. I don't want to talk about this card anymore because I'm going to break my desk if we do. So let's just round out the episode, shall we?
Okay, yeah, let's... Okay, Doc Ox Tentacles. Ugh.
Get out of here. Card's booty. But anyway, do you have any more thoughts, or are we good?
Lady Dr. Octopus would...
Bro! Oh my god.
Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
anyway,
Go ahead.
We're done talking about this card. We're done talking about this card. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Swords of Podcast. If there are any cards that you think we missed, some cards that you think we were wrong on, really anything, just throw it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We love interacting with people in comment sections and learning more than we do, because we quite frequently make mistakes in these episodes. I will say one card that I think Thomas will be upset that I missed is the Soul Stone. So if you have any thoughts pertaining to that card, feel free to throw that in the comments. I don't think the card was worth talking about. Maybe when more of the stones come out, it might be worth it. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. And we will see you in the next episode.
Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
And by the way, let me defend myself. I don't think the Soul Stone is good. I just wanted to talk about how bad I think it is. I hate the Soul Stone.